What we have here is a bear market, an administration that doesn't care and would like to see it continue. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubbas Bottom Line for Sunday, May the 15th. Can you believe it? Half the year is over, and I guess we just made it past tax day, which means you work for nothing for the last 4.5 months. But here we are with none of the problems solved, none of them even being close to being solved. I think that, I personally believe that the administration at hand wants this to be part of it. I think this is their agenda and their narrative for what they're trying to get done to really destroy the middle class. Now, you can disagree, and listen, that's fine. I get lots of hate mail, so it won't surprise me if I get more, because of course the overall hatred for President Trump was so great that whatever is here, and of course the destruction of your country should not be part of it. But we are seeing it. We're seeing the United States dismantled one piece at a time. And what is the administration doing about it? Nothing. You've got Nancy Pelosi now saying that the excessive gas, they're going to have to start taxing. They're going to have to put price controls and ban excessive gasoline prices. Well, the real question, Nancy, is who created those excessive high prices? Okay, was it not the administration at power right now, the ones who shut off the oil wells, the ones who stopped fracking and shale producing? So you want to stop the high prices. Make sure that you stop us from reducing and being a net producer. Let's continue to drain the SPR, which is for emergency use, not to try to bring price down to win an election. To me, think about it, that makes absolutely no sense. Okay, you're looking at a system of destruction of the United States of America by handing our power piece by piece to everybody that hates us, okay, and would like to see the reign of the United States end, okay? And of course, you've got food, rent, and energy prices are out of the Fed's purview. Really? It's really out of the Fed's control? Is that true? Well, if the idiotic Fed, the morons that work there, and they are morons, they may be brilliant people in the classroom, and they may be brilliant at putting together models that don't work, okay, but they don't have any control. Well, sure, they had control. They could have taken control when should have started hiking rates years ago. In fact, you can go a step further. If they would have never bailed out the banks, which they shouldn't have, then we wouldn't be in this position either. Okay, there's a saying, if you're not strong enough to stay in business, you shouldn't be too big to fail. You should fail. You want to bail out somebody, bail out the depositors. Screw the banks. I mean, how'd you like a business? You can make nothing but money. You make a good decision, you make good money. You make a bad decision, you get reimbursed and get to make good money. What kind of operation is that? Okay, the Federal Reserve is almost like a criminal organization. It's like the head of the gangsters. Okay, but they legally can do this. I mean, they're supposed to be a private corporation, but yet they take care of basically their own. Okay, so is it outside their control? If we'd had a normal economy without all this free money and printing, okay, and destruction of the currency system, which we have. I mean, listen, the most fraudulent, crooked system in the world is the fiat currency. Okay, you gold manipulators who continue to complain about what's going on in the gold market. Why don't you ever complain about the currency market? That's where all the destruction comes from, because that's how governments get more money, by devaluing the money that's in your pocket today. Okay, and Fed Powell, with perfect hindsight, it would have been better for us to have raised sooner. Really? We've been saying that on this program and on my radio show before this, that we should have been raising all along. You cannot borrow your way out of debt. It does not happen. It is a mathematical impossibility to borrow enough money to get out of debt when you also take away forget about now, but now you take away your natural resources. We were a net exporter of oil. We had control of what we do. But yet, let's stop that, okay? And let's watch inflation destruct the middle class more, because it affects the middle class more than anybody. Okay, so let's destroy the middle class by having oil, gas going to $6 a gallon, getting heating bills in the hundreds, if not the thousands of dollars. All right, but of course, why would we want to be a net exporter? Why would we want to help our counterparts in the UK and in Germany? You really want to put pressure on Russia. Okay, you have to bring the gas prices down, the oil prices. But of course, why bother when you have it here? Okay, well, when you can just let's let the world take over, and let's turn this into the crap hole that they're trying to turn it into. Now we're going to be strong enough to get through this, but certainly it is a scary thing because there's global fires everywhere. There are issues globally with the economy, and a lot of it has to do with what's going on. And basically, believe it or not, it relates to a lot of it to fossil fuels, okay? Because again, when we were the main supplier and we were a net exporter, there was a lot more peace around the world, okay? You can stomach higher inflation in other products as long as your main products, food and energy, remain somewhat constant and not overpriced. Well, we're just starting now, okay? And food is going to go, what we just witnessed in the oil markets and at the gasoline pump, you're going to witness that in the food markets. Okay, we have not even been as an impact as we will be as we continue to see shortages, as we continue to see the ignoramus war in Russia and Ukraine. I mean, that's another thing that should never have happened. But excuse me, when you have weak leadership in the squad who hates America, okay, and they're trying to promote all this stuff and create all this turmoil, what are you going to get? You're going to get these kind of things are going to happen because those other countries are going to step out of line because their big brother is not watching. All right. But, you've already had, now they don't talk about much of that on TV, and I don't understand why. Okay. You've already got a baby formula shortage. Okay. Now, you're going to have trouble with food next year. You had a bad crop in Brazil. You had a bad crop in Australia. Okay, we are the main supplier. However, Mother Nature is not being so cooperative at the time. And if there's any shortages here, we're already seeing. Look at the prices in the grain markets. Look at the prices of commodities. That does come right back to you. Okay, that is part of how they price out what you're going to pay. Okay, so we're going to be short, which means there's going to be a demand, which means that a loaf of bread could be as much as $6, $7, $8. Okay, and I'm not talking about the fancy bread you guys buy. I'm talking about basic white bread that you buy in the store that used to be $1.79 or $2.50. It's going to be $6, $7, $8, $10. Okay? And maybe if you can get it, that'll be the next question. Can you get it? Because a lot of parts of the country will not be able to get it, which is going to be a real problem. And why is it that we are so non-caring of what's going on? Okay, why did we let this happen? Okay, when we know that China, we buy most of our prescription drugs from China. Now, why don't we produce those here? Do you really, if you believe in the fact that China created the COVID virus, which that's what I said from day one. I believe it today. Okay. And it was proved that it was a man-made disease. Whether or not it came from China, again, nobody knows that or nobody's willing to admit it, but I do believe it. Okay. But if you believe that, then why would you want to buy a prescription drug from somebody who put that virus into the world? Okay. You think about that. All right. But, why aren't we a manufacturing country? Okay, because we can't afford to pay more prices. I keep hearing how well we are doing here with our income. Why aren't we producing our own goods? Because we should have the ability to stand alone if needed. And that may very well be a possibility at some point. Okay, I mean, this inflation shows no sign of slowing. I'm talking about going out well into the future. Now, of course, our genius economists, they don't know shit. They won't tell you anything until it's too late. Okay, I'm telling you now, there are problems. There are a lot of problems, and you're going to have to face them, and you're going to have to pay for them. Excuse me. And what's the effect going to be over time when you look at these problems? Well, earnings are going to be down in companies, okay, which is going to help fuel the bear market we're in. Okay, we're going to see some major destruction here because it is the old chain of events, right? Chain of events that happen. So everything is related to something else, and so we have the supply chain is already broken, which has been broken for a while. Production is down. Cost of oil is too high. Everything that goes into it is going to create higher cost, which is going to create lower sales for companies, which is going to make them struggle. So you're creating a chain reaction all the way back, okay? And of course, then we get to the problems of money, because as I tell you every week, life comes down to two things, but one is always money, okay? And if you ain't got it, you're going to try to get it. And if you can't get it the right way, you might try to get it the wrong way, okay? And that's how these groups are formed as well, because they'll have supplies, and that's how they recruit people to be much more troublemakers than they actually might be. Okay, so I think you have to look at the overall economy. Okay, and the radicals, the progressives, are trying to take control of the digital market. Now, I've said this many times before, that the United States is trying to get to a digital currency. Okay, why? Well, because obviously everything is digital now. Some places don't even accept real money. Okay, and B, it gives them more control. That is their highest complaint with the crypto world governments, is they don't have any control. And it's not that they don't have control; it means that they cannot devalue them. They cannot make more of them like they do with dollars, which goes back to what I said earlier of the fraudulent fiat currency system. And when they designed the Fed, okay, back in 1913, this is exactly what they had in mind: the destruction of an economy, because the very, very wealthy could give a shit. The very, very wealthy are thrilled either way. They will be successful under any circumstances, as long as it's real money, not that artificial stuff. But they will survive because their businesses will no longer come under attack of competition. Now, are you at the point that you decided that we should no longer have competition for business? I mean, who could possibly compete with Facebook right now? Okay, especially in the current economic environment, or Google. Okay, are you happy that those are the two main places you have? Okay, now Elon Musk was going to buy Twitter. Now the deal may go through, but there was a little oopsie in that deal. Okay, now again, the free speech that we have given up. Okay, as I said to you last week, we are only as free as the government allows us to be, and I think that's something that you have to really think about, because look at your life. Look in the mirror. Look around you, okay? And you tell me if what I'm not saying ain't the truth, okay? Because I just try to speak the truth. And I'm not looking at it with a biased opinion. I hate both sides. I hate Republicans and Democrats, okay? I wish we'd get term limits. I wish we could vote all that shit out, okay? And bring in people that actually really cared about the country and not cared about stealing the money from the country. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horwitz will be back with our market update right after the break. Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, May the 15th. Well, kids, look, crazy markets, really quiet. We got a lot of stuff going on. We had a great week last week, and all of our models, we killed it. But I always want to share with you what I think are better things. Trading and investing is not only about the products you use, but the people you use and how you get there. And, we've got a couple of brokerage partnerships, okay, and they're phenomenal. Now, I have many brokers. I'm with them all. I mean, you name a broker, I probably have an account there, okay? But when it comes down to me recommending to you and telling you who I use myself. Now, I vet this and I use it myself, but for futures and commodities, there's only one place in my mind, and that's Capital Trading Group. Okay, why? Because they're awesome. Customer service is phenomenal. They answer the phone when you need them. Okay, they're the only ones that I could authorize to do our letter direction trading for our members. Okay, but they're transparent. They've got great new products. Our Day Trader's Dream, which is in partnership with there, is killing it. Made new highs last week. Okay, and I mean, I've got 98% of my futures capital with them. Okay, check them out. info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba, and it's scrolling on the bottom or on the sides. And of course, for equities and options, first of all, Trade Your Brokerage are phenomenal. Okay, they got great customer service. They charge you $10 a month. If you're paying any more than $120 a year for commission, you're paying too much. Okay. Now, again, not only are they great, not only have great customer service, but we have the ability to auto trade your membership with our equity portfolio at no charge. Okay, so it's still $10 a month, and you get to use our software to automatically make the trades that we tell you to make. Okay, it does it automatically right for you. If you're a hedger, you have to pay a licensing fee for the hedging software, but the commissions stay the same. Okay, but you get an opportunity to have somebody else take care of it. Now, if you've ever used a third party to do your executions, it's usually too cost prohibitive. Okay, so they are phenomenal, and they got cryptocurrencies coming, which will also tie into your brokerage account, so it won't take away your margin ability. So it's something real exciting. And they got more. And there's a lot of things coming down the pipe, which I'll tell you about later. But in the meantime, check them out. try.trader.com/Bubba. That's try.trader.com/Bubba. And of course, our high school program. Look, we're trying to rebuild it. You know, the COVID it cost me a fortune because I pay for 90%. I do have some help from you guys on Patreon, and I appreciate it. Okay, but it was very expensive for me, and I don't mind it because I want to try to educate the youth of America because I'm sick of it. Okay, but if you want to help us out, go to patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. And let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and our market update for the week. We'll be right there after this brief pause. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, May the 15th. And of course, it's our time for our market update. And boy, we nailed this. I mean, sometimes I tell you when I'm wrong, I tell you when I'm right, and we nailed this to pretty well. In fact, it was funny. We nailed it almost to the dead cat bounce or the rip your face off rally. And I said it was going to start Thursday morning at 10 o'clock Eastern. And it actually did start, but that was a stop and start. But of course, on Friday, it did jackrabbit much higher. However, for the week, they got clobbered. Okay. And they're going lower. They're going a lot lower. Okay, right now the Nasdaq's down, I think 24%. The other indexes are just down under 20. Okay, we're in a bear market. Okay, I don't care what the idiot economists say. We are in a bear market, and guess what? It's getting a lot worse. But remember, don't kid yourself. In bear markets, they create the most vicious rallies that are like unbelievable. How can I not be long? That's what I'm telling you. So those are opportunities to sell. Don't look to be buying the dip anymore. Right now, it's time to sell the rally. Now, look, if you're a investor, then you shouldn't be worried about any of this stuff because you should stand pat. The only time you should exit a stock if you're as an investor, and if you're hedged or not hedged, if the fundamentals of that company have changed from, it became very weak for whatever reason, like General Electric is my example I use. Other than that, I don't sell stock. Okay. But again, when you look at the overall picture of the markets, it is ugly. It's ugly across the board with really no hope in sight because of inflation and other things that are going on and the tormenting of the middle class. In the meantime, you saw the dollar jackrabbit to highs we've not seen for years. Okay, now you have to ask yourself: is that valuable dollar buying me more? No, it's not. Okay, that goes back to the fraudulent part of it. But in the meantime, from a trading vehicle and a way to make money, we're still long dollars and it's still going up. Okay, the euro currency got clobbered. Now, again, I think the euro currency is going to 88 cents before it's all said and done. But first, it's got to go to par, but it ain't far from there now. It's only 4 cents away now. Okay, again, this is the trashing of currencies through everybody, and we're still short. Bitcoin, it got hammered. Now, look, I'm a big believer in Bitcoin. I mean, let me rephrase it. I'm a believer Okay. I've got my bet placed, or whatever you want to call it. I trade the crypto. We trade it in our portfolio. So that's a trading vehicle, but I've also invested in it. Okay. And again, but I tell you all the time, I won't lose 1 minute's sleep if it goes bust and they end it. Okay. But I do believe in it and would like to see some more things happening. And I'm thrilled with the action, not the big sell up, but I would like to be a buyer, and I'll probably buy a little bit more down here anyways. But we're still short in our portfolios, just to make sure you're clear. Okay. Gold, silver get clobbered again. And again, I keep hearing it's manipulated. Look, it's price discovery. Somebody's got to be a seller. If there's a seller, there's got to be a buyer. Okay. And somehow they bought it. And actually, gold got below 1,800 on Friday, popped back above. Now, what does that mean? We'll see. I think there's more room to go on the downside. Now, long term, I'm bullish. I buy physical. I'm going to take my profits from this short position we're carrying, and I'm going to buy more physical metals. Okay. Again, I'm not negative. You have to remember the picture. I'm trading. Okay. I could be in love today with one thing and hate it tomorrow. So just don't try to think that when I'm talking to you, I'm talking more, short term, days, weeks, months, whatever, however long that trend lasts. In the meantime, we're still short, and they got a lot of room to do on the downside. However, again, just like markets, I'd expect some kind of push, possibly to the upside. Okay, just for a trade. Again, I wouldn't trade it there. I'm looking to sell more. I'm looking to sell those rallies. Okay, natural gas. It had a monster week back and forth, kind of closed, slightly lower for the week. We're still long. But the real key here is that it's at levels it has not seen since 2008. Okay, ring a bell. Ding, 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 2008. Okay, we're still long. Crude oil closed on its top tick of the week at about 110, a little over 110. Look, we're going back probably to 140, 150 before it's all said and done. Okay, there'll be some sell-offs as we've just witnessed, but look at where we came, right back, roaring back, because, again, demand is going to outweigh, and because we don't have control of supply, the prices are going to be what the prices are going to be. Copper continues under pressure. Okay, we're still short. The grain markets, okay, grains, had a rough kind of week. Wheat was pretty solid, up for the week. Soybeans and corn. Now we're short beans and corn. I'm not thrilled. I mean, look, if I were a long-term investor, I'd be a buyer, right? I think we're going a lot higher. It doesn't mean we can't go lower first. I'm not thrilled with my short position, but I do give full disclosure because, again, I want you to understand exactly where I'm coming from. I don't want you to, again, I don't want to say one thing and have a position the other way. So I like them, but I am short. Okay. In the protein complex, fat feeders look pretty good, which is interesting. Feeder cattle's higher, we're long. Fat cattle looks horrible, and we're short. And hogs are short. Now, I think that 100 is a pretty solid level, and I'd look to be, probably a buyer there, at least for a trade. I think you have to, continue to watch the markets and watch the price action, because overall, it's an important part of what you're doing. And then when we go to the softs, cottons continues to be strong. We're still long. Coffee had an up week, but we're still short. We had some wild swing days, and it looks like it's had a little bit lower. Sugar, we're short, and it was a kind of a moderate week. Cocoa's lower, we're short that as well. And OJ, we reversed during the week to be short, so we're short that. We won't be changing any positions tonight. They'll be what they are, until at least Tuesday. So again, just be careful. I will say this: the volume in the market is still pretty pathetic. I wouldn't be trying to get too aggressive in here. I think aggressive here will hurt you. There will be a time, and I'll be happy to share when I think is the right time. But in the meantime, just be careful. But again, investors, stay invested, okay, unless the fundamentals change of your company. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, May the 15th. We're going to stop out here for our final break, and we'll be back with, of course, my commentary. Well, guys, look, I'm not going to go through and sponsor by sponsor again, but they are scrolling on the bottom and on the sides. Okay, just check them out. Capital Trading Group for futures and commodities, by far the best. Trade your brokerage, $10 a month, unbelievable deal, unbelievable company, great service. They're going to have crypto soon, and of course our high school program. Check them all out. Look, again, you can see them scrolling along. I don't have to repeat them every day. I just want you to check them out. And listen, that's because I use them. That's because those are the places that I go with my money. Okay, so check them out. In the meantime, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and me and my commentary. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, the 15th of May. And, I got to ask the question, where are the regulators? Okay. Where are the regulators in this world? You see all this bullshit advertising of promises of zillions of dollars, free money, okay, that you're going to get. Where's the regulators throughout this? How does this happen? How do they continue to let this get away? I am still convinced that Bernie Madoff had an insider, okay, in the regulators, okay. I'm convinced that most of them do. And I don't understand why, if the regulators are supposed to be there to benefit the customer, then but of course, that's not really the truth. They're only there to protect the brokerage firms and others. And that's where I see a real problem, because we all know, especially in the times we're going into now, with the overwhelming, debt that people are now incurring, and the drive to survive, okay, they fall for these Ponzi schemes because of the promise of big returns, because they get desperate and they hope that will be their way out, while they get fleeced out of what little cash they have left. I just want to know, where are the regulators? Because I hear about them all the time. I hear all this money is spent on building these places, and yet all the stuff that goes on in this country could be taken down by real regulators, third-party outsiders that would actually use due diligence, okay, and not be part of the government web of capital stealing. In the meantime, Bubba's Bottom Line. We'll see you tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update. Have a great weekend, everybody. As always, enjoy the Game 7s and the hoops and the hockey games and golf and baseball. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update.